Hello, and welcome to this showcase of one of the winning replays of the first Skylords Reborn Community Challenge, Into the Jungle. And let me show you the forum page. So here you have it. The competition took place last year over the course of 2 months, starting in November. And I will put all the links into the video description. The map was created by Amii, Curiel and Perendi helped out as well. And here you have the mini map, and today I'm going to present to you the second fastest submitted replay, played by Douglas and dersuchti, who managed to finish the map in 24 minutes and 4 seconds. And yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. There we go. And yeah, we see Douglas starting with Fire Tier 1, dersuchti with Nature Tier 1, and actually let me pause here for a second so I can explain the map a little bit. So basically you had to destroy certain spawn camps. This one is the first in time, otherwise big swarms of dragons would attack your bases, and then as the game further progresses you have to destroy even more spawn camps, and eventually the King of the Forest Elders, which has in this case 200,000 HP, so it's a pretty strong unit. Let me also show you the decks of the two players. So on the left side you can see the deck of Douglas, and on the right side the deck of dersuchti. And so yeah, so what is actually happening here? He started with Shamans and Dryad to support, and Douglas plays Sunderers for big damage, also versus all the buildings coming up, and Thugs, which have the passive to constantly loot energy for him if he attacks structures and units. The Shamans provide the healing support, and the Blue Dryad reduces the damage everybody takes.
I have just the thing.
Also the Dryad can switch between attacking and sleeping enemies to further reduce damage taken. But the Shamans do a pretty good job, the Orbs help out as well. And now he's gonna lure out the Burrower here, which has this magical light upon him, which disables range attacks, so these guys cannot attack. They place a mine, quickly take him out, make sure to lure everything out of the ceiling well, so the units are not constantly regenerating HP. Mine quickly kills the enemy units. The Thugs again trying to loot as much energy as possible. If we switch here, you see how the energy is going up, and that's definitely more than he gets out of Void Power and his 2 starting wells. Yeah, while we wait here for a second, you can see they did a really good job on this map, so lots of decoration. It's a really hard job to make such a map, and the only little flaw was that you could use Nightguard to take over units such as the Spike Root here, and then would have this very strong unit that pretty much disables all enemy ranged attacks. So that card, including a few others and sharing orbs, was prohibited to, yeah, pretty much get rid of that issue. Yeah, so just as the other camp, Thugs getting energy, everything's getting focused, the Shamans switch between healing and attack, maximize the damage, and the first camp is down. You have to always kill the spawn camp first, because otherwise the units are gonna respawn after a certain time. And yeah, you can pick up the first power well. Let's speed this up a little bit maybe. Heal everything back up. And because here are Mark of the Keepers again, lure these out. Have the Dryad sleep some. Alternate the targets. While the Thugs loot the energy. The Amazon also with the L damage, dealing Quite a lot of damage to those. Now again, placing a mine, causing all these units here that usually would poison your units to fly around and deal very little damage only. Yeah, again making quick work of this camp. Try to use the sleep. Already the next mine, luring these out of the healing well again. Killing them quickly. And now they still have plenty of time left to make it to this first gateway. But yeah, as this is the second fastest speedrun, they get it absolutely done in time. Again, the mine, blurring out, dodging the tower shot, which is possible because of the high movement speed of the Amazon. Because otherwise that deals massive damage. And the first camp is pretty much done. Simultaneously, already luring here out again with the mine. And yeah, not yet having enough energy, but soon they can take the orbs. And afterwards, the wells over here as well. So we see a nature and a fire orb respectively. So we actually have a pure start for both players, which you see quite rarely. And he has placed the Shrine of Memory to get more void return for himself, and the breeding grounds over here. Douglas makes his way over here as well, puts down the Banner of Glory. Maybe let me slow this down again. Which refunds him the power if he kills his units nearby. And that way he has faster access to energy and can start spawning Firedancers. The promo version here. And dersuchti spawns Spike Roots. They kill all their tier 1 units. One shaman still alive here. Perhaps to provide... no. So now they have massive range and can start attacking these towers, which otherwise would deal a lot of damage because of the root network. They get rooted in place. The Spark Root and the... yeah, now 7 Firedancers. Kill them before they can even touch them. That one's still dazed. Very soon be able to help attacking as well. Absolutely no damage taken. Very well done. All these units already get discounted energy cost because of the breeding grounds. And yeah, they take down this camp effortlessly. Grouping up. And let's proceed to the next camp. There's also Viridya, which has great proximity healing. Heals all the units around her, especially strong if the units have more HP. And it also requires a little bit less micromanagement, so you don't have to refocus shamans all the time. And of course she's only 90 power, so and fits in every deck. So yeah, quite nice. So mine here, destroying the Mark of the Keeper first, and then taking down these loads of Amazons. Only 4 minutes left for this time, but they're almost there. So again, good job.
Who calls for spiky?
We now have 10 Firedancers and 6 Spike Roots, which should be absolutely enough to take down this camp. Again, well protected by Mark of the Keepers, healing well to give the units more sustain, but the Firedancers from afar take down the camp. Spike Roots moved up. Healing well done. And massive damage to the Abyss of Water. Community maps sometimes the units do not show their real name. There we go, here it shows it. Yeah, realizing they have to destroy the spawn because otherwise the units respawn. And let's speed it up a little bit again. His energy is quite scarce. It's nice to get these wells on the way. Everybody picks up one. And now there's his next camp. The camp's getting stronger now with the deep core worms and these groove spirits. But taking down the Mark of the Keeper allows you to cast spells, Curse of Oink, and now they can take him down. Also having to try to sleep him potentially, but he dies anyway. And yeah, quite a solid tactic. Getting the Void Power back all the time from Shrine of Memory, if it is activated. First again, killing the spawn building. And yeah, the Mind Weavers, decorative tunnel. It's little units, takes a little while. But then it's done. So now again, the Banner of Glory for Void Return. And a Breeding Ground, because now the next thing is gonna happen here. So we should see, yeah, they have quite a lot of Void Power, but on tier 3 they can deal with that. He is already swapping his orb, now he's doing it as well. So both taking a Shadow Orb here, and that allows them to very soon spawn Cultist Masters to deal with the next phases. Right now they still have these orbs, Fire and Nature, to both build infected towers, and now re-swapping again to get the second Shadow Orb for the Cultist Masters. This is a strategy used on RPVE battlegrounds sometimes, which basically enables you to spawn infinite amounts of little Twilight Crawlers, because whenever something dies within the range of this tower, when its ability is activated, it will spawn a Twilight Crawler. And yeah, they both place down Furnace of Flesh to also benefit from even more Void Return. Yeah, that means the Shrine of Memory is no longer needed. Now they spawn Cultist Masters. Many of them, the more you have, the better. And yeah, now that spawns many crawlers, which means they can use those crawlers for production of those Twilight bugs. More and more. I believe 12 is the 12 is the maximum amount of Cultist Master you can spawn at once. Waiting for the second rotation, their cooldowns. Now probably activating this, putting them in range. The range is not too big. Can I show it? Yeah, that's the range, so they have to be within that range. And once they die, they respawn. Usually you would build some kind of support buildings, but because it's such a long map and you need your valuable deck slots, you cannot always use what you would like to use, just because you need other cards more urgently later. Yeah, now with this infinite supply of crawlers, they can pretty much send them ahead. They provide ground presence as well. It's so much HP. They completely overwhelm camps that do not contain flying units, because obviously they cannot attack those. And with their decks, they do not have the means to take down flying units right now. And yeah, see, next rotation, that's why they built 2 towers, to have less cooldown. And there we go. And next camp. You see, this camp is without flying units, this camp is without flying units, this camp is without flying units, and this camp is also without flying units. So now they simply walk through these camps and one by another take them all down. See the production here constantly going on, spawning more and more of these crawlers. Camps that are usually quite tricky because there's so many units now just get overwhelmed And of course they still have support spells, which they also need later on. So now, once the Mark of the Keeper is gone, both manage to use Frenetic Assault on these units and minimize the damage the crawlers take, because they are already not that healthy anymore. And normal heal spells have a cap in healing, so casting them is senseless, but we'll see that quite soon. You can use support buildings of nature that will heal the crawlers. Yeah, making sure the camp is done. Taking the last orb, so now they have tier 4. Both take a fire orb. And yeah, these are the orbs that's gonna stay. So both Shadow and Nature. It's quite a little bit laggy already, because so many units on the playing field. Next camp coming up. And yeah, there we see it. The Healing Garden, which pretty much also first off has proximity healing, and secondly globally buffs healing spells, which is quite useful later on. Also breeding ground over here. You see Douglas has quite a lot of energy right now, dersuchti just as well, but they still wait until they have their stuff, take the wells, build a breeding ground over here to start spawning their tier 4 units over here. Exactly, pinging here. And as these units pretty much block their unit limit, they cannot spawn anything right now, because the maximum allowed population is, as you can see here, 120. So they kind of have to either kill them or suicide them into these camps with flying units, because those are not gonna go down, which is fine. Yeah, here's a Viridya within all those units, which sometimes randomly casts spells. Yeah, these one already go down here. Using the Frenetic Assault of course helps, because now the flying units attack each other. And he's already steadily losing his units. He still has quite a lot of them. They take down the rest of these units around. Same over here. And the breeding ground's already prepared. In the meantime, here the Cultist Masters constantly grant him back the Void, and because they both have a Furnace of Flesh, they both benefit from these Cultist Masters. Usually you have 3 per Furnace of Flesh, but I guess 5 is fine here. So this is done. This is not yet totally done, but here's still many alive. And yeah, so now over here begins the part for the end boss, because the King of the Forest Elders has 200,000 HP. They will use a Mutating Frenzy, which can use its ability to stack up its damage infinitely. They also use the Portal Nexus to get it from over here where the Shamans are and healing it, and the Proximity Aura of the Healing Garden to teleport it then later over here. But now safely stack it here. Every time he activates it, the unit loses a little bit of HP, but the Shamans are standby to heal it. And yeah, now over here, they're both tier 4, have got rid of all their crawlers. Both spawn Bloodhorns, and one plays the blue Skycatcher, the other one the green Skycatcher. And the good thing about this is the ability, which will be of great use later. They also buff here the Bloodhorn, use its ability, which absolutely boosts its single target damage, and kill that Viridya, because she spawns those thorn barks around her. And yeah, what I was saying is that the dragons have the ability to pretty much block either melee or ranged attacks within the area, pretty much rendering entire armies useless if you have both affinities. And yeah, now Douglas spawns 2 Rifle Cultists and Scythe Fiends, because they pretty much intend to skip this giant camp ahead with multiple end bosses and directly go over here. So still taking that stuff out. Already walking up here. buffing the Rifle Cultists. Unholy Power. Unholy Hero is usually the better spell to go for. But he runs both, so he'll use them next time. But right now, they do not have that much energy anymore and want to get the Frenzy stacked, so it's ready. So there's definitely room for improvement with that strategy as well. But it's quite hard to execute because you see already 21 minutes, so it's a quite long run. And now once the abilities are ready again, there we go. They buffed them this time with Unholy Hero, and boom, they're dead, which means there are corpses over here, which enables him to use Undead Army, and yeah, now they can send over the Scythe Fiends there. And now they have ground presence at this point, which enables him to teleport his units with the Nether Warp over here, which also heals them. And yeah, now they can use Frenetic Assault here, and then pretty much skip this camp. Yep, that's what they do. The Forest Elder King here still not interested in joining the fight. Down everything in front of him, so you have a clear battlefield for the end fight. Getting some ground presence so you can spawn units for both sides. Also having the breeding ground is quite helpful, so they're cheap. And yeah, now the dragons can use their ability in case it's needed, but right now they just use Frenetic Assault and that's fine. Frenzy is now pretty much stacked up and should be able to kill this guy with a few hits. You can technically stack it up so high that it just demolishes end bosses, but then it's quite hard to keep it alive. So yeah, now he lures the remaining units out. The King of the Forest Elder also has abilities he casts around him, so this CC spell and this Thunderstorm, which is quite devastating. And yeah, very soon we should see the mutating Frenzy. There we go. There's the exit of the Portal Nexus. It gets teleported over here. Unfortunately, it has to walk around. It's getting buffed, so its HP is draining slower. And yeah, now in all this mess, it's hard to actually hit the Forest Elder. He also has this little surprise that when he gets lower and lower, he spawns more and more Colossus around him. But if you have the ability of those ready, they just gonna stand there and watch. See, there they all come. But first off, there's so many they can't even target him. And yeah, now with like a few hits, the King of the Forest Elders is done. And yeah, that concludes this replay. Really, really awesome time. And yeah, the next video I'm gonna show you the first place. Thanks for watching.